Hi everyone, welcome to this episode today. Good morning, good evening if you're watching this video. I am going to talk about something that has been discussed with so many people, and yet so many beginners, so many people that want to start investing in properties, in JB especially, don't really know about this hidden truth. I call it hidden truth because this is the truth based on data. This is the reality that has been happening and the fact that experience we can look at into and we learn something from there. But today, specifically in this episode, I want to speak about how the smartest investors or people who want to as a beginner to start investing in property to triple their money with new projects. And a lot of people not talking about new projects because the scary movie that they know as overhang properties, right? A lot of developer and new projects that abandoned before since 2017, 27, and you know the story. How that we can avoid that, I'll give you the hint and look at the end of this video. So make sure that you can watch this video fully. It's only a few minutes. And I want to speak about what are the three-phase strategy developers that never mentioned and how that you can use this strategy to start earning profit earlier even though the project hasn't been completed yet. And how that you can start to put in some equity, capital gain, and growth into the project when you know about the location, when you know about the property is good for you to invest now or later. My name is Drew, and I help everyday Malaysians and Singapore and Indonesian in Johor Bahru. A lot of people don't really know the fact what has been happening in Johor Bahru and what is the potential and what is the downside that is going on right now. So there's no filter, there is no hidden agenda on this video. I just want to expose what is the truth, the data, the experience that's going on in Johor Bahru regarding the property and what is the strategy you can implement right now. So before we start, hit subscribe, drop a comment that says triple, and we'll talk soon if we got the chance and opportunity. So you can know how you can start learning the strategy to investing in some properties in Malaysia. Alright, so step one is before maturity, and we call it a price gap stage. Because when a developer first launching a project, the price is still immature. It's still very new, very early in the market. So you're investing before the environment completed. So example, before the mall opens, before there are new schools, new hospitals, before the RTS link operates, before the restaurants even more in. So think about like buying an unripe fruit. It's cheaper because people cannot really taste the sweetness yet. People cannot really see that it's already there. So the awareness of the early stage is where the biggest upside hides. For example, if you're looking at the unit launching, let's say at 400k to 500k, and it's just a new property launching today, that after, let's say, the completion nearby the CCC, nearby the completion of everything on that project, it might reach maybe about 650 to 700k. So you can see there is a gap in between these two prices, about 100 to 200k. This is what I call the premature price gap. And you're looking the pre-go price before everyone else waits for the proof. Before the awareness from the market already see and look at this property, oh, there is a good hospital nearby, there is a good shopping malls nearby, then they start to increase the price. That is already too late because the price gap, immature price, it's happening before the environment is completed. Now that's the step one. Step two, this is where I call it cash flow bridge. The cash flow bridge is just very simple. How that you can combine short-term rental and long-term rental after the CCC, after the completion of the project. You own the property, you can see it physically, and you can start to do it for rental, meaning there's an income coming in, and you can use it as the cycle to even pay the mortgage. Now there's a way for you to do this with combination of short-term rental and long-term rental. A lot of people don't really know about this strategy. If you want to know the strategy, drop a comment strategy, and then I will reach out and we can connect. I will let you know how that you can use this strategy correctly. But here's what almost everyone misses. You don't just wait 3 years or 5 years doing nothing. Because you just bought a property, it will complete in 3 years, for example. Then people will lose momentum. The property is just sit there in the progress doing nothing. There's no income coming in from that property you invested. You choose projects that are nearing the completion or maybe even completed already but hasn't been fully mature yet, where you can start renting it out immediately, where the location is the determining factor of this. Because when you do short-term rental, of course, you will targeting people that traveling, that have a good attraction nearby there. So even though it's not fully mature, it has a good environment that attracting short-term rental guests to come and stay. Now, while waiting for that short-term rental to mature, you can put it as a long-term rental, that put it as a listing that will take maybe a couple months to get some tenants in. So while property is appreciating, it's already start earning. And when you're waiting for the long-term tenant, the short-term rental is already taking some income for you. So this is going to cover the installment, the maintenance, even make some profit depending on the location. So most people forget that the fastest way to kill ROI is by waiting in an empty unit. And you have no idea, I talk with so many foreigners, so many investors outside Malaysia, they leave the unit empty. They leave it blank for years. And can you imagine in years? So let's say in 3 years, that's 36 months. If you do it for rental, whether it's short-term or long-term, how much thousands of dollars that you have been losing on those 36 months without appreciation of income? Smart investors never let it dry, never let it empty. They want to bridge the gap with income. And this is always something you can do within your full control. Whether you want to have the strategy to do it or whether you want to leave it empty, that's totally up to you. But the more it's not being utilized for income, the more you're losing the money potential that it should giving you monthly return. So that's step number 2. Now, step number 3, this is exit on maturity. And this is very obvious. This is what most people do by doing flipping. If you heard about flipping properties, how that you can do, I call it capital harvest. So capital harvest, this is more of how that you can increase the value of the property before reselling it as a subsale, and how that you can compound the years, the time that the area already mature, the new malls open, the traffic growth, the school, international school tenants coming in, right? Now, a lot of people made some mistake on this because they say, all right, let me wait for RTS the next 3 years. Let me wait for another infrastructure in the next 5 years. The thing is, you need to know what is the news on that area for the next few months, the next few years. Because not area will be really mature. It could be just a news, or it could be a fake news, or it could be just an issue by the government that's not really true. But everything can happen. So when you see the capital appreciation, the capital harvest from this property already pick up, increasing up, that is the good appreciation, and it is a good time for you to start selling it, to start promoting it, to start marketing it, because you want people to know that this equity expansion and loan repayment, it actually has to reach its maximum gain at one time. Because if not, that it is just going down after that, then you will lose some money. Because if the place is already missing the time for you to sell it out, then you will not getting the right appreciation price, right? So this step 3 is very important, but you cannot just skip step 1 and step 2 because it will not be the maximum profit that you can gain from it. And this is the biggest mistake a lot of beginner investors to start, is that they buy a property and they just leave it empty, or they just wait for the next 3 to 5 years until it's completed. You don't want to wait too long after you buy or invest the property, because you will not getting any income in between the time gap, and that's hurting your pocket, right? Because you still keep paying for those investment already. Now, the good side of this is that because the price is very premature, like I mentioned in the number 1, so you bought it 3 years ago, 3 years before, and now it could increase 300,000. Even sometimes in some area in Iskandar, it's already increased like 500,000, get to more than 1 million from before they was buying like 600,000. That is a good strategy, but you cannot predict the future, right? It's still a big risk if you don't really know what is going to happen in that area. Right, so at the end of this video, as I show you, as you're watching this video, and I promise showing you how to avoid overhang projects in Johor Bahru. And there are many ways actually you can do, but I will just show you the top 5 ways that you can do. So you will not ended up like this uncle right here. If you see the story from CNA before, that this guy named Chi Siu Ho, and he basically a swim coach, and he bought a condo before in Malaysia, but overhang projects, so he basically losing a lot of money from that project. How to avoid those overhang projects so you'll not come to the same trap? Now, the first one is you need to check developer record, always knowing if the developer has a good record, because sometimes if the developer don't have good record, especially if they're foreigners, they don't have much capital to invest, then they basically will stop the project if the sale is not enough. So that is a big warning there. Second one, Avoid hype zones with zero ecosystem. If there is no mall, there is no RTS or MRT beside there, or the school aren't even breaking ground, then you should not take the risk because the infrastructure isn't already moving. And number 3, study absorption, not ads. So overhang comes from mismatch because there are so many wrong layouts or too expensive, or even sometimes too cheap for locals. Because if it's too expensive or too cheap, that people so curious about it and they suspicious and they actually didn't buy, so the project is not ongoing. And number 4, enter before maturity, not before existence. Because some projects that nearing completion or proven growth bells, you can earn rent fast, but you need to be careful on this maturity because all the projects need to be based on the timeline. And number 5, always run the triple investing plan. Like I mentioned, if you buy low before maturity, the cash flow during build out, and then you can exit on maturity, the area is alive. So you need to know the environment, the area is alive, then make sure it is avoidable so the developer will not stop the development in that area. So when people say property is slow, you just need to smile because they don't know about this triple investing strategy, these 3 steps about investing. Now you know this strategy. Comment below the word triple and we'll connect, and I will see how that I can personalize this strategy for you depending on your needs, depending on your wants, and we can talk about what is the beginner way, the low risk way for you to start investing in this. All right, I'll see you in the next video. If this is helpful, please subscribe, drop me a comment, and we'll connect soon. See you.